Though you do not have the power in and of yourself to overcome these patterns, you do have the power to do something that will bring fruits of victory later. You have the power to agree with the truth about your problems. In the Bible, this is called confession. To confess means to agree with. We agree that we have a problem. You have the power to search and ask God and others to reveal more and more about what is within your boundaries and where you need to set them. You have the power to turn from the evil that you find within you. This is called repentance. This does not mean you will be perfect. It means that you can see your sinful parts as aspects you want to change. You have the power to humble yourself and ask God and others to help you with your developmental injuries and leftover child needs. And so many of these problems we face are left over from our childhood. We take them with us. You have the power to seek out those that you have injured and make amends. So we do have the power. The next one is the law of respect. Do I need respect? Do you need to respect me? Yes. One word comes up again and again when people describe their problems with boundaries, and that word is they. It's never my fault, it's your fault. It's them, it's those out there. Do you ever catch yourself blaming everybody else for what goes wrong in your life? It's very easy to do. But they won't accept me if I say no. But they will get angry if I set boundaries. But they won't speak to me for a week if I tell them how I really feel. And whose problem is it? We feel others will not respect our boundaries. We focus on others and lose clarity about ourselves. Sometimes the problem is that we judge others' boundaries. I'm judging your boundaries, not concentrating on my own. The next one, the law of motivation. The law of motivation says this: freedom first, service second. If you have to get free of your fear, you are doomed to failure. If you serve to get free of your fear, you are doomed to failure. Let God work on the fears, resolve them, and create some healthy boundaries to guard the freedom you are called to do. Let God handle the fears and the worries. And that's not always easy to do, is it? Especially when you're doing a prayer that you've never done before, Ash. Not always easy, is it? But we can learn to let God take that fear and that worry from us. The next one is the law of evaluation. We need to evaluate just what is going on. You need to evaluate the effects of setting boundaries and be responsible to the other person. But that does not mean you should avoid setting boundaries because someone responds with hurt or anger. That is their problem. We cause pain by making choices that others do not like. But we also cause pain by confronting people when they are wrong. Confrontation is not a bad thing, it's the way we go about it. How do you confront somebody? It's not easy to confront somebody, but if it is done in the right way, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. But if we do not share our anger and with another, bitterness and hatred can set in. So if I don't deal with it and talk to somebody about it, then it turns to bitterness. We need to be honest with one another about how we are feeling and hurt. We need to speak truthfully to your neighbour, for you are all members of the one body. There are some other laws there, but we won't go into the rest of them. Listen to this quote: "It is impossible to have a healthy relationship with someone who has no boundaries, with someone who cannot communicate directly and honestly." We need to be able to communicate one with the other, or the boundaries, and set up some boundaries. If somebody doesn't have a boundary, how do we know where we can go, what we can do and what we can't do? You need boundaries, I need boundaries. So I guess this morning we need to quickly look at how can I actually set boundaries? That's the important thing. We recognise that God uses boundaries. He has given us that example. But how can I set boundaries for me? And I guess for me the first thing is to discover yourself. Work out who you are. What are the problems? What is causing the problems in your life? And decide what you want to do with those problems. Why is it in life we keep on doing the things that don't work? We do them over and over again. You know, we get angry when something goes wrong. Does it solve the situation? No, but we do it. So the first thing we've got to do is work out what is going on in life and decide that I don't like this, I'm going to change it. When we do that, we ask ourselves, do I want to continue living life the way I am? Am I happy living my life the way I am? Do I like what people do to me? Do I like when people just dump on me? Do I want to be a happier and more relaxed? Now, with people dumping on you, sometimes that is necessary and we need to be able to say, yes, I'm happy for you to come and talk to me and unload, but we need to be able to say, no, enough is enough as well. The second thing we need to do is decide what behaviour you will not stand for. If we're in a relationship, what behaviour will I not stand for from my spouse or my partner, whoever it is? What is that behaviour that I will not stand for anymore? If we have an abusive partner that comes home drunk and abusive, are we going to put up with that? Do we need to put up with that? No, we don't. We can do something about that. Then we need to tell people clearly what you will and won't stand for. Be very specific about what I will stand for and what I won't stand for. Let others know that from now on, certain behaviour won't be tolerated. Tell them calmly and nicely what you will and won't stand for. You don't have to yell at them, you don't have to point the finger at them, just tell them what you will and won't stand for. Tell them that it is their choice to carry on doing what they are doing, but you'll be no part of it. Say to them it's your choice to get angry when things go wrong for you, but when you do that, I'm going to go out for 2 hours until you calm down. So you are taking yourself away from that situation. The next one, learn to say no. How difficult is it to say no? Can everybody say no with me? No? There's always got to be one, doesn't there? Yes. Yes, we can all say no. Okay. But how many of us have trouble saying no? Especially when something at church has got to be done. How many of us? Actually, I think quite a few of us say no, don't we? I wished we'd learn to say yes more often in this situation. But you understand what I'm saying. And what part of no is so difficult to deal with? I remember seeing a little slogan, and I've mentioned it before, and it's just K-N-O-W, no, you're N-O. And we need to know when to say no and be comfortable saying it. I've actually said to people, well, which part of no don't you understand? You know, no is no. And we need to be comfortable with that. We need to be comfortable when others say no for a good reason as well. The next thing we need to do is be firm but gentle. When we're setting up a boundary with somebody, we need to be firm but gentle. No, I'm not going to negotiate this. This is the way it is for me. That's the way it's going to be. The next one, tell people how you feel honestly. Now, this is not always easy, not for us blokes. How do we get in touch with our feelings, guys? It's easy for the women. They can get in touch with their feelings quite easily. Somebody's frowning up there. But it's usually easier for women to get in touch with their feelings and know how they're really feeling. If I was to say to some of you guys right now, how are you feeling right now? The typical response would be, I'm not sure. Whereas if I said to some of the women here, what are you feeling right now? They'd come up with an answer straight away. But we need to let people know honestly how we're feeling when they treat us the way they do, especially if they're mistreating us. And I guess the important one that I want to spend a little bit of time with this morning is when we want to deal with an issue and set up a boundary, the best way to do it is with what is called an I message. Not an I message, but an I message. And so if we have a problem in our relationship and we want to resolve it by setting up a boundary, what we do is we begin our statement with when you. So instead of attacking the person, we're attacking their behaviour. And we say to them, when you, and we name the behaviour that they are doing. So as an example, when you put me down when things don't go your way, we have not attacked the person, we have attacked the behaviour, which is what needs to be attacked. And we are saying to that person, when you carry on this way, when you do this, then we'll continue on in a moment. The next part of our little statement deals with our feelings, how I am feeling about what you are doing to me. And the next part of your statement begins, I feel. And here is where you honestly name your feelings. When you are putting